How late was it yesterday?
Not too late. 11:15.
11:15.
Yes. We're all getting a little bit
Are
older.
you getting old, or are you getting wise, or are you getting both?
Older and wiser, and less suspension.
less suspension, a little bit more tension.
I'm really questioning what is happening. What is really happening? If we compare this to 10 years ago,
Yeah.
I would say, everybody was outrageous.
Yeah.
And now, okay, we had some people going to buy a pita, and that was about it. But good, that was the time we were 38. Now we're getting to the 50s. So.
But I think things have changed more than that, because I was wandering around here still at 1 o'clock. I had to. It's my job. But I used to see, just like you said, some while ago, other editions ago, young people quite good intoxicated already of 24 and until 35, who were running around at 1 o'clock from the one booth to the other booth and dancing there, and maybe there were some cases of security that we said, "Whoa, relax, guys." We don't see that anymore, and I'm not going to connect it, but it's something like after Corona.
Mm-hmm.
Things have changed.
What has changed?
I wonder what I know for my part, because I'm an old man. I'm not so interested anymore in all the booze. I would like more quality than quantity. But my son was here. He's 25. You met him on your booth. He said he's a working guy. Of course, it's his first job. But at something like 11 o'clock, he said. Quite good enough. Everybody is getting so. The rebels.
Yeah.
You don't have rebels anymore. I'm very sorry. No, I'm not. I'm joking. Of course, we have rebels, and we have here two rebels who are going into sparring today, because this part of the podcast will be all about industrial robotics. Welcome to the Indisruptive and Friends podcast, your 30-minute traffic jam antidote, where technology, strategy, and economics are mixed, no nonsense, and in the right context. No geopolitical noise, no hype, no clickbait, just signal, no noise. Informal, but straight to the point, sharp, relevant, and pragmatic. And every stone you might trip over has already been turned over for you. This podcast is brought to you by Fanuc Benelux. With 60 plus years leading industrial automation, Fanuc delivers precision, reliability, and scalability. Automate today to boost efficiency, cut downtime, and grow without limits. Performance, and of course, peace of mind. Work smarter, easier. Visit fanuc.eu. That was a whole...
Thank you.
Complete line.
I couldn't say better.
It's Friday, guys. It's Friday. Give me some peace. In this Automation Fast Forward series recorded live at Indumation 2026, we sit down with Philip Teupens, General Manager. What's the name? General Manager at Fanuc Benelux. Mr. Philip. We went a long way together, I guess. I remember you as the young guy I met during the 2000s, something like that, the first shows.
2006, correct? Nearly 20 years.
Yeah, nearly 20 years. Who was really 100% technically grounded.
Absolutely.
A sales guy. Now you should behave as a corporate, but you do not behave as a corporate. You still behave as the Philip I know. But I still detect the no-nonsense technology guy in you. Am I correct?
I try to do that. No nonsense, no hype. I think over the past years and decades, we have seen many technologies coming. But the question is, well, what is mature? What can we use in reality? And you have to be very realistic in what you see and how you approach the thing. So, yes, realism. That's how I see it. How I try to fill my days. Absolutely.
Yeah. But realism is sexy again, eh?
I think it's needed. It doesn't makes sense because now you see with all the AI, there's a lot of
yeah.
buzz going on. So it's now the task at hand is to see what has real potential and what has not,
Yeah.
and where to focus on, where to put your effort on,
Yeah.
and where not. And that's because effort is limited.
Yeah.
You can only do so much with so much people. So you have to make sure you focus your energy into the right topics.
Yeah.
And I would say today the market and the technology environment has never been more volatile than let's say 10, 15 years
And
ago.
challenged.
And challenging. It's so it's really you need a crystal ball to look forward into the future with all what is happening right now. And I think that's it's a challenge, but on one hand, it's also
there are something like there are decades where nothing is happening.
Absolutely,
there are weeks where decades are passing.
Yeah,
but I think we're in the same direction when we talk to people and when we talk to people here and customers. It's more about stop the hyping and all the noise. Show me the money story in AI and robotics and other stuff. Everybody, I just talked to Eric and I talked to Siemens also this morning on the podcast. They all say, listen, economically, it's very challenging times, but everybody has and see the urgence, not only in Belgium, it's not only the sickness of Europe. Everybody sees the urgence to automate smart, to robotize smart. Show me the business cases. Show me what are the wins. Show me some KPIs. People who are coming here, maybe that's the reason because they don't drink so much anymore. But they are all very, very, very sharp. I like it like that. I like it like that. Let's dive into it, Philip. To give it a more broader and international perspective, according to the International Federation of Robotics, but I think it's already surpassed. There should be an installed base of some 11,000 industrial robots in Belgium. And the Netherlands should account for 15,000. We're not speaking about here about China and South Korea. The density should be approximately already one robot on less than 10 workers. Belgium, on the other hand, let's focus on Belgium now. Belgium, on the other hand, 216 on 10,000, respectively 0.2 per 10 workers. Maybe for the people who are listening, that doesn't say very much when we're talking about ratios. Philip, I guess you have more accurate numbers. And can you also give me some details about what's the proportion in the growth between robots versus cobots in industry, of course? Enlighten me.
Well, if we're talking about robot density, and you're correct with I think your numbers are quite accurate because I have them here as well in front of me. I would argue that Belgium and the Netherlands, because we're a Benelux organization, we are not doing that bad. We are respectively Belgium with a robot density of 232 robots on 10,000, let's say, workers. On the 16th place worldwide. So we have a lot of European countries. The Netherlands is even in the 12th place in robot density. But then if you look where the others are, if you look where is the Korea, Singapore, China, there's the top 3 countries. They are massively above us. But I would argue we will never reach that level of robot density in the near future.
Why?
And that is typically to do with the market. I would say China and Korea are high volume markets in electronics. What we see there is an employment of robots in rather easygoing installations.
It means mass production.
Mass production.
One type of product. Long series.
We have
high series.
Name Foxconn. Foxconn is a company, let's say, working for Apple. The amounts they buy, it's something we do not know in Europe. We have our RoboDrill. I think they have bought like 40,000 machining centers from us. We have those videos where you see a hall with thousands of those machines. That's a scale. That's a scale we don't know. But on the other hand, what they do and what they automate, it's rather simple. It's rather simple pick and place. It's a small SCARA, small units. And that's something that's an industry we do not see here. And that's why they are, let's say, virtually in these top 3, because they have those industry. We will not see this industry on a short term and not even on midterm, long term. So, but I would say we are not doing that bad. I would say Belgium and the Netherlands supported by, I would say, a high density of automotive. Of course, we all know what is happening on that side.
Yeah.
And we had those factories, but good, they're going away. But nevertheless, I'm quite optimist that there is still a lot of low hanging fruit to take and to continue on the long run. Absolutely. Yeah.
So automotive is leaving the stage. What you say? There's a lot of low hanging fruit. Where in which sectors do you think in general then for Fanuc?
Yeah.
Because you have of course the machining part,
Mhm.
the robot drillers and other stuff.
Mhm.
But in general, for robotization and cobotization, Benelux. Let's talk about Benelux then in that sense. Where is the other low hanging fruit, according to you?
Everywhere. What you see and what we have just described is these massive factories we see in Asia. That's what we call the greenfield factories. You know, this is just starting from scratch, and now we're going to buy like 10,000 machines and we buy 500 robots. That's something which happens very occasionally here. I think that one of the last recent investments we have seen, I think it's a very nice example for the Belgian market, is Safran Blades in Liège.
Yeah,
This is a real greenfield factory. We just start from scratch.
visited the factory.
Yeah, it's a factory of the future. And I would say that's an example of how manufacturing should be organized in our high wage labor countries. This is the way how we can be effective and sustainable for the future. Of course, greenfield factories come with
they are
extreme investments. It's like a 50 million investment. And I would argue that the low-hanging fruit is still in the many small and medium enterprises
and existing
surrounding us, where we
legacy,
are deploying robots left and right. What we have seen today yesterday on the trade show, we were on the fair, is people just palletizing, handling. Everybody has boxes. Everybody has to move products all around. And yes, I think that there is still very big potential in the small and medium enterprises to deploy more robotics. And we see as the technology is improving, as the complexity is decreasing, it's going to spread still in the future.
Are you here with all your offers on the booth, or are you just focusing on some highlights?
On Indonesian, we are more focusing on the, let's say, the full automation part, being robotics. Fanuc is a company that has a DNA in metal, but that's machining is not really the focus on this trade show. But we are more with the automation part here, and that's what we highlight.
Palletizing?
Well, palletizing
handling robots, or
palletizing is one thing, but what we are showing right now, and that's really a 180 degrees turn from Fanuc, is that we are showing our new controller here, which has been historically been a black box, but we see now with AI development, and AI it's a container word, but I would say advanced machine vision where we can label and learn. I'm very convinced that this will be an enabler for the future. Today we are used to do hard-coded robots. We put the trajectory in the system, and it's always the same. Today, and this means we have to look into car manufacturing. We have to look into rigid manufacturing. But there is there's still a lot of many untapped potential out there in everything that's organic. And I think about vegetables. I think about meat, dairy, everything that has natural products. Let's say vegetable.
You mean then with your new controller or system?
Well, I'm coming to that point. So what we need for that is very versatile machine vision, and it's very versatile machine vision means we have high performance cameras. And those cameras need real-time access into controllers, because it's not always a known trajectory. What we will do today may be different than what we'll do tomorrow. So our systems need to adapt very quickly to it. And this real-time adaptation needs very quick field buses into our systems, which has, in microseconds, you need to react on the spot and be able to change on whatever you see in your systems. And this is really the direction Fanuc is going. So we are opening up with a whole scale of Python script This is really the benchmark in the industry to make
Can you
AI development.
reprogram a robot for a totally different other task?
Well, and in the end, I'm convinced today programming is still too specific. It's a specialist task. We have to get rid of it because it's also blocking us for the future for a large scale deployment. What I have seen now in our latest development conference in Japan is that a programless robot, and we just talking to the robot and asking or telling what we want to happen. So what it is doing, it's a large language model. We were in Japan, and
Is it it's in a testing phase or
well, no,
no.
it's in a testing phase.
prototyping?
It's a prototype, and
Yeah.
it's of course it's a demonstrator. But I said I want this glass to be put upside down on the left side. I tell that on the spot, so he knows where is the glass. He knows it's upside down, and he's going to this is right side, that is left side. So the system is doing it. The fun part was I was in Japan, and I said I'm now going to try this in Dutch. I said ik wil het glas van hier naar daar ondersteboven, and the system just captures it. And what happens in the background is Python programming. It's just making the program of what you just said. And I'm convinced still we have to make it robust, but this is the way forward. Because today
You give a voice prompt.
we give a voice prompt to a system. The system writes the code on the
Yeah.
spot. And this is where we have to move on, because now all of this pre-prepared hard coding, which we are doing today, that's good for a certain part of industry. But if we want to deal with variety in the future, this is the way forward. What I did with my voice, you can do equally with a camera. A camera will just show, this is what I see. You have to react now like that to address this situation. And this is why we are now developing, let's say, on a full scale to adopt with these technologies.
I hope you will not be starting making prompts in telepathy that you think I would like.
Well, you could,
Otherwise
you could,
it's getting a very, very, very.
but this is
dangerous.
really enabling.
Yeah.
This is really an enabler for many more new possibilities. No programming installations.
Are you guys front runner there?
Well, we are not front runner, but because
is everybody following a little bit the same path?
no, we want to make
General
sure.
narrative?
We want to make sure that we are compatible with all these new technology, because we don't have the let's say the illusion that we will make the one size fits all. Everything is moving and shifting in such a high speed that you have to make sure that we don't know today who will be, let's say, leading tomorrow.
No.
So we have to make sure we are compatible with all available technology on the market,
Mhm.
and that we stand to our values in the background, meaning we deliver high performance, high quality, high reliability systems and machines, and we feed them with intelligent cameras and data from the outside.
Told me that, of course, in the introduction, we are not the Asian, we are not the Chinese, we are not the American market, we are the Benelux market. Benelux workforce is already heavily automated, generally as such, dominated by the high value manufacturing.
Absolutely.
Within a lot of small and middle-sized enterprises. So they proclaim robots are modest in volume, but highly sophisticated. The thesis is correct? Or,
yes,
or
yes,
is there a nuance?
There is a nuance to make. I would say that we make high value systems, and I would say also Fanuc Japan perceives the European market is not the biggest volume market, but what we do here is always of very high added value. The smartest systems, the latest developments, always start in Europe and in Belgium, in our regions. If you look indeed to the Chinese market, there's very big volume, but not high end. So yes, that is. But I would say again, not everybody has this high value added manufacturing. There is still many tasks below there. Everybody's suffering with the same thing: labor problems, people not wanting to do the dull, dirty and dangerous work. Repetitive tasks. It's a real mind change from the new generations. People don't see added value in there. We have on the midterm, long run, we have the aging population. So with less people, we will have to do equal output or even more. So, how do you want it or not? This will keep on driving our demand for more automation.
It's not only the high-end manufacturing we should always focus on. Is that a little bit the other part of the story where you say, is that then the low-hanging fruit? Where you say things can be so obvious to be robotized in simple tasks that people do not want to do anymore?
Absolutely, and that's how we're looking at it, and that's really coming now. Companies and enterprises with competition being very fierce these days, and let's say the market is very volatile, and we have to be as lean and as efficient as possible. Whatever we can automate, we have to automate in order to remain sustainable today, but tomorrow also in the future. Not only for labor, but also to disconnect from labor cost. The labor is not there anymore. Those who you can find only stay a week, and there is the cost. So if we want to do sustainable manufacturing in the future, the only way is to automate digitally and physically. That's it.
Another question is Moore's law still valid for robots and cobots?
Moore's law?
Yeah. No, Mr. Moore?
Yeah, I know Mr. Moore.
Well, Mr. Moore's law. It's in kind of different interpretations, of course, in chips and in other stuff.
Yeah.
But if you take the price evolutions for the hard body software, the hard body robot and the software and the cost of coding, is it still valid that the price per project is always more accessible for people? That the average cost of an installed robot is declining, or?
I would say the cost of a project is always the cost. There's always a return on investment, and you can have a 5 million euro project, which is a very quick return investment.
Yeah.
It's always depending to what you compare.
Yeah.
Prices are generally dropping, and I would say as the I have to be careful on that one. I would say as the coding is enhancing, going smoother, going quicker. Just the example I gave, maybe the no coding in the future. Well, that will be a massive change in cost to deploy systems if you have those flexibility. Because how you turn
it's rather talking about the purchasing cost. In fact, you should better be aware of the return on investment.
That's what makes
complete story. If you can code like that by voice, you can use a cobot for this, for that. You can put them in another place, and you have such a versatile product.
In a simple project, even for the basic project, you have 2,000 to 2,000 hours of labor cost easily. So that's the biggest denominator in it. You have the hardware, which is very easily predictable, but then you have the man hours, the labor cost in a project.
Yeah, that's dark.
That's fluid. That's dark, and that's where everybody struggles with. That's why you have to standardize. If you standardize, you reduce that kind of risk. But if we can reduce this labor cost in programming and software and whatever, well, good. Then prices will drop.
Okay, it's more cases of return on an investment when you look at the case than just saying the cobot costs so much and the installation costs so much. You rather think about what's my quick win, what's my logical quick win in the whole story. Now you know that I would ask you that question. When you, I'm not talking about the Fanuc on the consumer electronics show in America. We're talking about Europe, of course. But if I visit Fanuc booths in several countries, also in the packaging stories and other stories, intralogistics, I see many demonstrations with sophisticated applications. Of course, you're very strong in the domain of 5-axis precision machining to materials handling, painting, laser processing. If you look on the websites, it's very impressive. But I should be asking you that question. Are you also active in AGV AMR for logistics, or are you just working with your technology together with other integrators to realize that AMR or AGV? If I look at Google pictures of building the Belgian people, and I put in Fanuc AMR or AGV, I always come to something else.
That's,
But there can be possibly a Fanuc arm on it, or enlighten me.
yeah. Well, it's a question we are asked many times. We should already ask the question: why is the interest there in AMRs, AGVs? Is it the next big thing? Fanuc has made this analysis, and we get the question now and then. It's decreasing. Let's say through 3, 4, 5 years ago, that was really something that lived.
Market too competitive.
Well, the point is, we made the analysis. We have seen there is more than 200 suppliers today in that market, which is way too many, because there is only place there will be a consolidation in the end. If you see that let's say you have those companies like Geek Plus and then Hick Robot, whatever, they have like maybe 10%, 11, 12% of it, and then you have a whole queue of other companies behind there, not even reaching the 1% market share. What value proposal would Fanuc bring to the table?
What's your real business case?
What is your business case? What are we doing better than those other 200? And
they're a little bit. Fanuc is thinking a little bit like Apple, then.
Yeah.
Let everybody try and fight the red ocean, and afterwards, when things consolidate, we will come maybe with a better product.
Well, we are a fast follower. Let's say we have a very high engineering capacity, and then of course we are not acting too, let's say, enthusiastic in all those things. But I would challenge it, because if you look today in the industry, how many times do you see robots on AGVs? I don't know any project apart from some demonstrators on trade shows, but effectively in production.
Yeah.
The business case where
except from Amazon, maybe then.
Yeah, but then again, we have been thinking about machine tending and putting an AGV, but then the alternative is a robot on a track, and then the alternative becomes a conveyor, and maybe you can put 2 robots in front of 2 machines. I would say the sweet spot of having robots and AGVs seems to be very small, because AGVs are now, AMRs are now like 10 years on the market. You see them appearing on the shows. Then again, I'm still quite disappointed if I walk into.
They're not moving the needle.
If I'm walking in the industry, left and right, you see them now and then, but not on a large scale.
Yeah, and many times as a test case.
Because as a test case, because the real business case, and so the fit is not there. The sweet spot is very small. We will not
be talking about because otherwise we're hours away from this discussion. I know it maybe would be very popular, but we're not going to talk about humanoids.
Well, if you want, I have an idea.
If you want to have an idea, you can always give your short idea about that story.
Well, frankly speaking, humanoids, we're challenging Fanuc as well, because there is massive amounts of money pumped into all kind of development. So we buckle up. So what is going to happen? Fanuc has already been involved with Honda Asimov. The small white robots already deployed in 1980s. It's Honda Asimov
talking about Hyundai and
but it's the Honda Asimov. It's a small white robot. So Fanuc has already engaged, like in the 80s and the 90s, as a very, very early adopter before the availability of humanoids. And the project has effectively been stopped in 2018 because there is no valid business case they have seen. What has changed since 2018 is now, let's say, with NVIDIA, the very high deployment of, let's say, rapidly deployment of machine vision and AI vision, which is necessary for, let's say, humanoid robots. But then I would argue, what is a humanoid robot? It's kind of a replica of a human. A human, I would argue, is very flexible, but it's not the most efficient and the best tool to do everything. I would say, if you go to very quick pick and place systems, a human can do it. But if you have a humanoid, why not have our typical Delta robots? Because they still will be more adapted to do it in a longer, on the long run, and do it faster, and are more suited to do the job. I asked to Fanuc Japan, what is the humanoid? They said, in the past, we used the horse for transportation. Humanity did not invent a mechanical horse to replace horses. No. We invented the car. And now everybody drives cars. Yeah. So I would argue that a humanoid, yes, in household environments, there might be let's say, if you need to walk stairs and you do not want to adapt this environment, there can be, let's say, a place where there is a fit. But if you're in industrial environments, I really argue that the humanoid will be the devil does all.
I think in an industrial, maybe person and people care or things like medical. I can imagine that the dimension of a humanoid robot is something like creating trust and maybe polyvalent and usable. But no engineer should be so crazy to think that for packaging or other or shuttles or things like that, a human-sized robot is the ideal dimension or mechanics to do different stuff in an industrial
Why not
environment.
have three arms? Why not have three arms?
That's
because when I'm carrying a box,
square and 4 arms or things like that. That's
why I'm carrying a box. I want to open the door, so I always do with my elbow now. So
I have long arms.
Seriously, and then again, what we don't touch is the point. It's dexterity. It's Fingerspitzengefühl. Dexterity is a major topic in this industry. We have looking to Ghent University. They are developing. There is no problem in releasing this technology to our standard robots. And if you have this machine vision, this smart machine vision, that's also a very critical part in humanoid. We can also deploy that on standard robots. Why not? Why not? If I take 2 small arms, I apply the computer vision and I do the haptic dexterity, let's say, feeling, I can easily mimic a humanoid with the same possibilities and capacities. So
I have the impression we're trying to fly, but first learn to drive as fast as you can with the technology.
Absolutely. Yeah. There might be some spots in the industry, but let's see. Let's stay humble.
Let's wait and see. And I suppose Fanuc is ready to adapt and has the necessary
we are following very shortly
to make the shift. Now, maybe another question before try to respect your Sheem robot programming and welding. I did the interview with Adrian Broeder, who talked also on Abyss in Breda. Adrian Broeder from Valk Welding is in many cases claiming that programming offline the cloud, where all complex 3D models are already available, that this is becoming the standard in the industry, and that's also their servicing model. And that typical physical robot cobot programming becomes as simple as using a microwave. We treated a little bit the matter, but if he's saying, and if you are saying, maybe you just also illustrated by voice control, voice prompt, we are not hallucinating anymore. This is what's coming.
Yes and no. I know, and there I still see a very big step to because large scale companies are using that. However, if we're looking to smaller enterprises, we have to let's say lower the thresholds. Cloud computing of programming is, I would say, on Fanuc side, I don't see yet the big scale deployment. So we have our simulators. We now integrate with NVIDIA Isaac. It's also, let's say, a full factory simulator. But in the end, it remains a simulation. And in the simulation, you have to go to the real world in the end. And the real world, with regards to the simulation, there's always some adjusting to do. And that remains either a manual task, or you will have to apply additional sensory to the robot in order to see what has been computed in the cloud
and what's changed
is effectively in reality.
What's in the real world.
If we're looking to welding, and if we are talking about ship welding, we're not talking about micrometers. We're talking about centimeters. So at least you need to have some variety. And then we're coming back to the point of sensor tasks. And I said, what I just said in the beginning, our new controller, real-time adaptive field buses to adjust to what you see. This is my thought path, and this is what I really see. So I have to move now a little bit left, a little bit right, higher, lower. This real-time adjustment on whatever you see will be also mandatory in order to deploy from cloud towards the real environment.
Maybe it's going to be a combination
It
that already exists, that are repetitive in the same environment. Can be the models can be get out, the 3D models can get out of the cloud hub, bomb dropped dropped offline, or how do you mean? And that otherwise you have the adjustable learning curve of a robot, of a welding robot in that case, that is adjusting to the real-time situation with cameras and sensors.
Yeah, correct.
So I talked with Pascal Koppens about the dark, fully automated factories. There comes a difficult name. Shinichi Tanzawa from Fanuc proclaims his smart factory has robots producing robots. Looks all very futuristic. Didn't have time to talk about it on the booth yesterday, but some people I've been talking always tell me robotics in a high mix, low volume environment have mixed feeling about using robots. Then I talk to small SMEs who say, yeah, we have in that case a high mix, but really low volumes in CNC, for example. Is that to be more precise in the off manufacturing small series with complex setups? Take a long time for the machining, maybe a cycle of 12 hours and longer. Frequent changeover robotization is not so obvious, or is that a wrong statement? Because you hear that a lot in that type of companies.
And that's, again, we're coming back to what I said earlier. We have the days of the car manufacturing, 1,000 times the same car per day. It's behind us. Good, we have still high volume companies, but again, there is still a large part of the market, I said, with untapped potential, and it's typically there. Where, and I would address now RoboJob, they have now applied this artificial intelligence to their newest development, is the pallet load. It's a customer of ours. But just to give an answer to this very low volume, very low volume, but very high product mix. To address this one. So what they do is they just throw the CAD file. You know what you have on the pallet. They throw the CAD file to it. And our systems in Fanuc, we have, if we have the CAD file, you need to load it into your software system. And then you have to do the part where you want it, and then you have to load it back to the robot. So now they addressed, or let's say they made a kind of a machine vision system that is interpreting your CAD file, and then is then looking, it's a 2D camera, is looking to the pallet and is able to pick it up directly. The system thinks about how I will grasp it, and how do I have to bring it to the machine. And this is typically all steps that is normally done by the specialist programmer, because he knows he has to pick
how to handle, how to rotate it, how to fix it.
And then again, this is the way forward with. And then we come always back to the same point. We need this very versatile vision. The vision is improving, so adding a lot of variation, and we can do very high complexity. Of course, you have to give it time. It's not coming from today to tomorrow, but the new developments I'd see, because typically, if you want to do machine vision, let's say 5 years ago, then I see the product. I have to put the product on the pallet, and then I have to do, and I do the picture of the product, and I have to adjust the light a little bit. And if it's on a sunny day, then the sun shines in, and I don't see it anymore. There's no bandwidth on it, and you're so highly dependent. Make the picture, and then clean up the picture, and then you have to give it to the robot, and then the robot, in ideal circumstances, sees the product, and then we can do with vision. The point is, this setup of this vision process takes too long. It takes you a day to set it up properly. So if we can take that off the table, if you say, this is what we're looking for, your system, go and look at and find it, and tell me if you find any problem. And if not, go to the pallet. If it's too sunny, adjust yourself, take another angle, And this is what's happening right now. And what problem are we solving? The time of, let's say, setting the parameters of a vision system. It was just too time consuming.
This is the only barrier that this is or is the only barrier, the time.
Yeah, the time
it takes to adjust.
You can do a vision system if you're doing always the same product. That's fine. Do a vision, but if you have now this, then that, it doesn't work. So these, let's say, self-learning systems bring a solution.
Evolving very fast.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, this will be the enabler for those customers just complaining. But I will always add this.
I know two of them. I won't mention them. I know the people very good, but I'm not mentioning this on. They are the same kind of people. They are doing high precision machining for complex parts.
Mm-hmm.
They only make one part for that factory. I don't know. Something like a filter or a turbocharger or things like that, who are very specific to that process of that customer. They say, we only need one part, and the machining part, it takes 1 or 2 days before all the jobs has been done. So they say, why should we use a robot to wait 2 days to use that robot again to pick it up? It makes no sense in our investment case. That's a little bit the type of, but these things are going to change in the future. Having some patience and
and I would say it's happening slowly. We are going in the good direction, but I would say give it at least another 5 to 10 years before.
Now, I would say finally, and for our listeners / viewers, some takeaways. People, I can imagine that people are listening, or people have been visiting the fair and saying, okay, I have somewhere a business case or a demand from people into my company who said we should really look to robotize, cobotize, automate some things that really are blocking our processes. How do they proceed? Or you are an OEM?
Mm-hmm.
You have a lot of integrators for specific tasks. What do you suggest if people have some issues or are thinking about stuff? Do they get in touch with Fanuc, or
well, of course
you have consultants or
we have
who just visit without any commercial profile who said you should do that or you should do that?
Well, what we offer to the customers, I just did it a couple of times yesterday as well, is that let us come to your place. People setting their first steps into automation. My first robot. Let us come to your company and let us make a screening of your company. And let's detect where the low-hanging fruit is again.
Then you do a screening in the company.
We do a screening in the company, absolutely. One of the privileges we have as being Fanuc, we have so many system integrators in our network, which gives us also the privilege of seeing many applications, and we know where we have some best practices. And we go to the customer and we try to bring the best parties together. We try to find the best fits together.
You are connecting the dots.
We're connecting the dots.
Your technology and
because what people want to see is trust. Nobody wants to be pioneering and nobody wants to be the first one. So if we can bring you in contact with another company that has nearly done the same problem as you have in your company, well, that builds trust. This is very similar to to my problem. And they have solved it like that. And this customer is very happy about the solution. So, okay, good. All lights green to continue the talk.
Mm-hmm.
So this screening is something we offer to the customer. Typically, the customer also tends to do, they want to go all the way. And very often, just doing the 80-20 Pareto, 80% of your production can be automated very easily with low-end automation. And it's just always this last 20% that adds many layers of complexity and makes the business case basically invalid. And this is also something we need to address and learn people just to separate.
Also there in the Pareto, looking where the low-hanging fruit optimization is robotization, then go further into the chain.
Absolutely.
And looking for more complex automation challenges. Okay, I got the picture. Thank you very much for being here, Philip. To our listeners, more on Indisruptive and Friends on YouTube and Spotify. And please don't click the like button, But be a big boy or a great girl and hit the subscribe button. Thank you and have a nice listening.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.